Young Joc stood quietly by the front row, head down, not saying much, but his silence said everything. The tears he tried to hold back eventually won. He broke down during Khadiyah's funeral, and the moment was so real, so raw, that everyone in the room felt it in their chest. This wasn't a man crying for the cameras. This was real grief, deep grief, and it shook everyone who witnessed it. Khadiyah, better known to fans as KD, was only 44 when she passed. And the way it happened, the suddenness of it, the silence afterward, it left a lot of people stunned. One moment, she was online posting her usual truth, her energy still loud and unfiltered, and the next moment, her name was being shared with the word funeral attached to it. It didn't feel real. It still doesn't. For fans of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, KD was never just a side character. She was the one who always said what she thought. Loud. Honest. Sometimes brutal. But always real. She wasn't just there to fill time between the main drama. She was the drama. But not in the messy, scripted way. She was the woman who brought the fire to every scene and didn't hold back. And that's why this loss hits differently. The news first came quietly, whispered in social media posts, with people asking, did something happen to KD? It didn't take long before her name started trending. Fans began sharing their favorite moments, clips of her standing up for herself, dragging anyone who disrespected her, that unforgettable laugh that filled a room. And soon after, the tributes started pouring in. Young Joc didn't stay silent. He didn't hide behind a post. He showed up, and his pain was visible. This wasn't a moment crafted for attention. This was grief, messy, overwhelming, and deeply personal. His tribute broke people because, love her or not, Khadiyah was someone who meant something to those who knew her closely and those who only knew her through the screen. But here's the thing that's been bothering people since it happened: there's been no official cause of death. No explanation. No details. Just silence. And when the silence is that loud, people start looking for answers. And the stories that have come out since then? They paint a picture that's heartbreaking. People close to KD say she'd been struggling behind the scenes. That the bold, strong KD on camera wasn't always the woman they saw in private. That lately, she'd been pulling away, showing less of her usual light. Her social media posts became quieter. The captions started feeling different, like she was tired. Not just physically, but emotionally tired. If you've been following her story for years, you know KD was never afraid of drama. She had her share of on-screen battles, fights, love triangles, messy relationships. But behind the scenes? It was heavier. Friends have said she was under pressure. That she had family drama, emotional strain, and mental health issues that she never really talked about publicly. And even though she smiled for the cameras, her real struggles were locked away where nobody could see them. Apparently, she had even started counseling not long before she died. That little detail says so much. It tells us that she was trying. She was making an effort to get better, to find some peace, to work through whatever storm was in her heart. But something must have happened. Something serious. Because those closest to her say she changed in the final days. That she wasn't herself. There are whispers of a particular incident, a night where something went terribly wrong. But no one's gone on record to say what it was. People are protecting her privacy, which is understandable. But the result is a big question mark hanging over everything. What happened that night? Was there a moment when someone could have stepped in? It gets even more painful when people start talking about the show, how it handled things. Some insiders have come forward to say that being on Love and Hip Hop may have made things worse for her. That the pressure to always bring drama, always be the bold, unfiltered KD, didn't give her space to actually deal with real life. That when she needed a break, maybe she didn't get one. That her mental health wasn't taken seriously. A few castmates have anonymously admitted that the show encouraged conflict. That real pain wasn't seen as a warning sign, it was just more content. More ratings. And if it got too real, it was cut out. Think about that. If someone was spiraling, they didn't stop the cameras. They turned up the volume. Fans are heartbroken. But they're also angry. They want to know why nobody stepped in. Why didn't someone notice? Why didn't someone say, "Katie doesn't seem okay"? They're posting old clips of her, laughing, clapping back, standing strong, and then comparing that to her final posts online. Messages like "tired of pretending" and "some pain don't show on the outside." We've all seen captions like that before. But now, they feel different. Like she was screaming for help in the only way she knew how. Close friends say she hadn't laughed her real laugh in weeks. That she would cancel plans last minute or disappear for days. That she wasn't the KD they knew. When someone who's always been the loudest, most vibrant person in the room suddenly goes quiet, that's a red flag. But maybe people didn't realize until it was too late. One night keeps coming up in conversations. Just a few days before she passed, something happened. A bad episode, as one friend called it. Whatever it was, it scared the people closest to her. They tried to check in, some visited, some called. But it didn't change the outcome. When the day came, emergency services were called to her place. There were no flashing headlines, no reporters waiting outside. Just sirens, a few phone calls, and then silence. By the time fans found out, she was already gone. Pronounced dead at the scene. No official statement from the family. No confirmed cause of death. Just a wave of shock and confusion. And in that silence, rumors grew. People speculated: natural causes, mental health crisis, accidental overdose. Nobody knows for sure. Yung Joc's words at the funeral cut deep. He said she was complicated, but real. And that real ones like her don't come around often. That's what made his tribute so powerful. He had seen the KD off camera, the one who loved hard, who fought even harder, who always kept it real. It wasn't just about losing someone he once loved. It was about losing a woman who had layers, strength, pain, heart, and fire. The show didn't talk much about her struggles. On camera, she was a spitfire, an icon, someone who wouldn't back down. But maybe nobody really wanted to see the pain behind that. Or maybe they saw it and just didn't know what to do. There are now reports that KD had asked for time off. That she tried to tell producers she needed a break. But nothing changed. The show went on. One former castmate said something that hit hard: you cry on camera, you scream, you fight, and then you go home and deal with the damage. That's the reality. Some people can survive it. Others can't. KD gave her energy to the cameras, but who was there when the lights went off? Fans are starting to ask hard questions. Not just about KD, but about reality TV as a whole. What kind of toll does it take on the people who live in front of those cameras? What happens when you're expected to be entertaining even while falling apart inside? People are demanding answers. But more than that, they're demanding change. Because no number of tribute posts or hashtag trends can bring KD back. What matters now is what's going to be done to protect the next KD. The next strong woman who's hurting and hiding it because the show must go on. There are calls for mental health support on set. For producers to hire professionals. For real systems that catch people before they fall. Because if nothing changes, it's just a matter of time before this happens again. Some cast members are backing these demands. Others are staying quiet, scared of what speaking out might cost them. KD's death didn't just take a life. It left a hole in the heart of the reality TV world. It exposed a system that profits off people's pain but doesn't always know what to do when that pain becomes too much. The silence from her family is understandable. They're grieving. And they deserve space. But it also speaks to how deep this wound goes. Sometimes silence says more than any statement ever could. Her sister posted a picture. No caption. Just KD smiling. And it broke people. Because it reminded everyone that this wasn't just a personality on TV. This was a real woman. A mother. A sister. A friend. A fighter. And now she's gone. This isn't just a tragedy. It's a wake-up call. Behind every viral moment, behind every dramatic scene, is a human being. Someone trying to hold it together. Someone who maybe just needed a little more support, a little more kindness, a little more time. KD gave the show her truth, her vulnerability, her fire. She deserved more than just a tribute after the fact. She deserved to be seen while she was still here, and maybe that's what this moment should teach us. To look a little closer. To listen more carefully. To remember that even the loudest voices can be hiding the quietest pain. Rest in peace, KD. You mattered. You were loved. And you won't be forgotten.